students, we are here on the fourth session of the economic topic, people as resource. Students, in last three videos, we have already discussed and studied about how the education and health plays a very crucial role in making and in the formation of human capital. We have already seen the story of Sakal and Vilas, which has given a lesson that how education and a good health is really important for leading a good life. If a person is uneducated, he can do the manual labor, he can do the work, and he can earn livelihood. But think of a person who remains unhealthy, the person who remains sick all the time and ill. So that means if a person is educated but he is not keeping well, he is not healthy, then his education will also not help him. So having a healthy life, leading a good life, quality life, education is important, but health is very important. If you wanted to live a good life, quality life, then you need to be healthy. You have to be happy. If you will be ill, you cannot live a good life, you cannot live a quality life that you have, that you are really required, that you really need. But that is in your hand. You have to keep yourself healthy, fit and fine. See students, if we talk about any of the company, any of the firm, or any of the manufacturing unit or any of the institution, every institution wants that my workers or my employees, they should be healthy. To maximize his profit, they need that there should be a healthy employees should be there and should work in the company. So health really plays an important role. So students, we are going to study now about the health. So students, health really plays a very important role and it is really important. Health of a person helps him to realize his potential. Unhealthy population is considered as a liability. We have already seen earlier, uneducated people, they are considered as a liability for a nation, for the country. Same manner, unhealthy people, unhealthy population becomes a liability for the country. Not only that, they are not able to showcase their potential. Whatever potential they have, they are not able to show and they are not able to represent. So in this context, you can see that the priority of the government is to provide the better health facilities, and it is the responsibility. Government is putting all the efforts to improve the health status among the living population. All the people all living in the different parts of the area, it may be the central government or the state government, everybody is trying hard that everybody should live happily, and happily how you will be going to live when you would be healthy. So healthy population can live a quality life. Our national policy also aims that there has to be accessibility of healthcare centers. private, public health centers should be there in all the different parts of the area, so all the people can avail the facilities and can get the basic health care facilities that is required for the welfare of the people. Not only this, there's a nutritional diets and nutritional charts, nutritional values are also specially focused by the government. Special privileges are given to the unsegmented people, and we have seen that in the last 5 decades government has created the best infrastructure, both the sectors as well as the private. Both the sector means the private sector as well as the government sector has provided the best facilities of the healthcare centers, dispensaries, hospitals, expert team of doctors, nurses, best staff, best hospital staff, supporting staff is provided by the state as well as the central government in different parts of the areas, in even the remotest areas of the different districts of different states. You can see that the health of a person helps him to realize his potential. If a person is healthy, then only he can showcase his potential, he can show his potential, and he can work hard. Hard working would only be possible, the people can put more of the labor only when if they would be healthy. So that means they can showcase their potential, they can show their ability only when a person is healthy, and they can fight against the illness. Students, as you already know that today is a scenario that is going on and the people are suffering with the corona. At this particular time, immunity for a person is really important. If a healthy person who will going to survive the people who would be healthy, and the people who have more of the immunity power in the body, they are going to survive. So that means health is really important to fight against the, what is the potential that you should have? Ability to fight with the illness, with the different diseases. Not only that, unhealthy people, they are considered as a liability for the organization. It may be the school, it may be the firm, it may be the factory, or anything organization. For every organization, the unhealthy person becomes a liability, and every organization need the healthy person. So health is an indispensable basis for realizing one for all the entire well-being. So there are many places are there in India where the basic facilities of the health is not available. So government has started trying to provide all the basic facilities to the remotest areas also, to the most backward areas also. Government has provided and created and constructed the hospitals in different parts of the area. You can see that just 4 states like Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra have 81 out of 181 medical colleges. The medical colleges from where the best team of the doctors, they pass out. So the best colleges for studying of these students for medical, there are 4 states are there. We have 81 colleges are there, and in the rest of the other states you can see that we have more than 24 states are there. In that we have only 100 of colleges, medical colleges available. So on the other hand, there are states like Bihar and Uttar Pradesh where we have a very poor health conditions and very few medical colleges, 1 or 2, very few medical colleges are there in these 2 states. And not only that, the health condition in these 2 states are really extremely poor conditions. So students, it is the responsibility of the state government to provide all the basic infrastructure that is really required in achieving the health, better health for the people. So for that you can see that community health centers. Community health centers are there in the tehsils, or in the towns, or in the different parts of the area. So we can say that at the block level we have these community centers. These community health centers are available. Even the district hospitals are there at the district level, but further other medical colleges are also required in different cities where doctors of all specialities are present. You can see that we can reach the healthcare services in different parts of the area. It has become still difficult, and it is too little, but there is a reduction in the infant mortality rate. Students, when we are talking about the infant mortality rate, the basic health condition should be good. When we talk about the IMR, infant mortality rate, what is an infant mortality rate, students? IMR, infant mortality rate is when a child dies, when the infant dies before reaching to the year 1 year, before reaching to the 1 year, before celebrating his first birthday, and the child dies, that means that is an infant mortality. And on thousand of children, if the death is there, then that is an infant mortality rate. That is the rate. So this infant mortality rate of the different states should be low. The number of death among these infants should be low. If we have a low infant mortality rate, that means in that state, in that particular state, the health conditions or the health centers or the hospitals, the quality of the hospitals is good. And improvement in the life expectancy. If we people are not able to get the better treatment, best treatment and proper treatment, and basic facilities are not given, then definitely there will be a deterioration in your health, and you would suffer with one or the other problem. And if you are unable to get the treatment, proper treatment, definitely your age, the span of living, number of the days or number of years would reduce if you will suffer with the different diseases. So life expectancy rate should be high, and that would be only possible if you suffer with any of the problem and you have the proper treatment available in your state or in your area, in your community. Then your living standard of more number of years would be there. So life expectancy, how much life you expect, 60 years, 50 years, 70 years, that is the expectation. What is the expectation of your life? If a person is not healthy, he may not expect his life maybe 30 or 40 years or 50 years. That depends on your health. So life expectancy is totally related, directly related with the health that you are having. Over the years, we have seen that many of the healthcare system has helped in improving the quality of life. And you can see a healthy person can fully realize his potential. He can understand his potential, how much ability he has to work. So that ability he can show his potential, he can show his ability when he would be healthy. And you can see that healthy person is an asset for the economy. Healthy person is an asset for the economy. An unhealthy person is a liability. Unhealthy person is not having a potential and is known and get a status of liable population. Liable population. In this regard, you can see that government has created the national health policies. Government has started the has planned the national health policies, and it aims towards improving the access to the health services. Why national health services and policy started? That everybody, all the people, rich or poor, higher caste, upper caste, lower caste, everybody can go and have the access over the health facilities. Everybody can get the facilities that is provided by the government. In that there is no bar for rich and poor. So we need to have a better health access. You can see that more accessibility to the health services and improving nutrition, especially among the underprivileged sections, the people who are underprivileged, the poorer section of the people who are not being treated properly or not respected in the society. They don't have a dignified and financially they are not strong. Poorer section of the people, tribal sections of the people, and of different castes, then you can see that they are underprivileged. They don't get that privileges. So even especially the government has made this national policy, national health policy, especially for the underprivileged section, that they should also have an access over the health facilities provided by the government. The government health system is composed of, there are different tiers of the hospitals, different levels, levels of the government, and different hospitals are there. We have our primary health centers, PHC, primary health centers are there at the bottom, okay, at the below. Okay, and then the bottom of the list and the provide the general medical care to the rural people, to the rural section of the people living in the village area. These public health centers, these primary health centers, primary, that is made for public. So primary health centers, they provide the basic facilities to the rural area. See students, the government has done an economic survey. Government has done an economic survey in 2017 and 18, and according to that you can see that whatever facilities that the government has provided, on that basis the life expectancy of a person living in India is 68.3 years. That an average life that a person in India is going to live, that is 68.3 years. This is according to the census of 2014. And the infant mortality rate that we people have seen that has come down. See, we need to reduce. We don't want the death of the infants. We wanted to reduce the death of the infants. The children, the young children, before the age of 1 year, if they dies on 1,000 of population, then that is known as infant mortality rate. So students, our main aim and objective is to reduce the IMR. If a state has low IMR, then that state is really good and has achieved the national health policy. They have attained the accessibility of to every person is there. So infant mortality rate has come down from 147. You can see that on 1,000 of people. 147,000 in 1,000 children, 147 children used to die in this year, 1951. In 1951, 147 children out of the 1,000 they used to die. Okay, but you can see that due to the best facilities provided, good facility, enhanced facility created by the government, state government with the central government's efforts, we have seen that this figure 147, earlier 147 children used to die, now only 34 children are dying according to the census of 2016. So that means there is a great achievement of the government. It is a great achievement by the government that they are successful in reducing the Indian infant mortality rate. They are successful in achieving the target and in providing the accessibility to all sections of the people, or the downtrodden section of the people, or the underprivileged section of the people, that they are also able to get the basic facilities in their areas. The crude birth rates have also dropped to 20.4, and death rates also reduced within the same duration of time. In 2016, this has also reduced. So increase in the life expectancy and improvement in the child care are useful in assessing the future progress of the country. So we have seen that we are able to increase the life expectancy, and people are able to get the child care. IMR, infant mortality rate, infant means for children. So the children, they are able to given a proper care. When we are talking about the children, we are talking about the women's, okay? Talking about the pregnant women. Pregnant women, they need proper diet, they need proper care, and they need the best facilities that is required, and a proper vaccination and immunization is required time to time. So they are able to give birth to the healthy child. If a proper care is given to the mothers, if they are given proper care to the mothers, you can see that they can give birth to the healthy children. And if healthy child would be there, definitely infant mortality rate would not be high. Children would not die if proper nutrition and nutritional food would be given to the mothers of the infants. And this is possibility, this longevity of life, this long life would be possible only because the quality life, that is if you are living a quality life. And quality life you are going to live only when you are healthy and you have a good confidence in you. So reduction in the infant mortality rate has involved the protection of the children. The best protection is given, proper vaccination is given to the children, whatever vaccination is required up to the age of 1 year, and proper immunity injections that is given by the hospitals to the young infants. That also increases the ability to fight with the different diseases. The resistance power of a child also increases. So, and moreover, if they are properly fed by the mothers, if proper milk is provided to the children, and that means the nutrition is provided to both the mother and the child. If mother would be given a proper food, a proper diet should be given to the mother, so that she can feed the child, and she can take the better care of the infant. Students, you can see this health infrastructure, and you can see that in this year till 2017 status we have available the data, statistical data that is being taken by the primary health centers. And you can see that National Health Profile in 2018 it is given, and the Central Bureau of Investigation, Health Investigation, and it is given by the Health Ministry of the Health and the Family Welfare. Okay, that means these are the authentic data that is available to you. You can see that on the screen. We have how many dispensaries were there in the year this, and how many hospitals? 2013, and in 2013 you can see that they have increased. How many beds are there of a government hospital? In government hospital, how many beds were there? In this year, we had 6,28,708. And if we see in 2017, the number of bed has increased to 7,10,000. 7,10,000. Doctors, registered doctors, and the other all these doctors who are registered in the medical council, all the doctors who need to practice, they all need to register themselves in the medical council. So you can see that how many doctors? 45,106 as you can see that nursing personnel, from here to here. So after the health, we can say that health really plays a very important role in making ourselves as an asset population for the formation of the human capital and making a human resource, a best human resource. Education and health, they are the two most important components and the elements of the population. So health and education really plays a very important role. So students, the another important concept that you really need to understand is unemployment. Unemployment is not employed. She is not employed. Okay, you must have heard it. Okay, that means they don't have work. They are not earning. They don't have the income. So students, what is unemployment? So when we are talking about the unemployment, when a person is ready to work, when a person is ready to work at any wages, at any cost, or at any money, or at any salary, but despite that he is not getting work, that situation is known as unemployment. That situation is known as unemployment. I am ready to work, I am willing to work at ongoing wages, at any wages, low, high, middle, medium, whatever wages you wanted to give me, whatever money that you want to give me, I am ready to work, I am willing to work, I wanted to work, okay, but I am not getting work. That situation is known as unemployment. That situation is known as unemployment. Student, you can see that when a person is actively seeking a job, he is trying and he is finding a job, but is unable to get employed, but is not getting chance to be employed and is not able to get the work, he is called an unemployed person. He is unemployed, but that situation is known as unemployment. unemployment. Unemployment, unemployed. People in the working age. What is the working age that we people have? From 15 years to 59 years, or it is increased. We can work between this working as a working force, but we are not getting it. This situation, this condition is known as unemployment. This condition is known as unemployment. If a person voluntarily does not want to work, okay, if a person, he does not want to work, okay, have you understood? I am willing to work at any wages, ongoing wages, but I am not getting the work. Then I am unemployed. Then I am unemployed person. If I am getting a work, but I am not doing it. I am getting the job, but I am not interested to do. I wanted to sit idle. I am very lazy. I wanted to sit idle. In that context, in that condition, a person cannot be called as unemployed. Have you understood? When a person is willing to work, I am ready to work. You give me as much money, any money you give, as much money, little money you give me very less money also, I am ready to work. You give me any work, I am ready to do that work. Okay? So, I am unemployed. But I am getting the work, but I am not doing it. No, I don't want to do this work. No, this you are giving me very less money. I am not going to do it. Then I am getting an opportunity, but I am not doing it. Then, because it is not my will, I am not doing it. Work is there, I am not doing it. Okay? Then I cannot be called myself as unemployed person. Fine? Students, take an example. If your mama has all prepared a food for you and mama gives you, beta, eat this food. Okay, take it. And you say, no, I don't want to do it. And then later on you complain, no, I am very hungry, I am hungry, you have not given me food. You cannot say that. If mama has not made the food and then you say, mama, I am hungry, mama will say, okay, I will not give you the food. Then you can say that, no, I am hungry. Then your hunger is, we can consider. But when your mama has already prepared a food for you and you say, no, I don't want to eat this, give me something else. Then you cannot call that you are hungry. That situation cannot be considered as hunger. Okay? So students, when a person is willing to work but he is not getting, then that situation is known as unemployment. So students, here you can see that these people, they are ready to work, but see what he has come. They all want job so badly, okay, that they are willing to pay for an employment opportunity. They are ready to bribe you. They are ready to give you the money, but there is no work available. There is no work available. Okay. So students, the unemployment is a person want to seek a job. He wants to get a job. He wants to seek a job. He wants a job. So unemployment, in other terms, unemployment is said to exist when people who are willing to work at the going wages, जो भी मजदूरी चल रही है उस टाइम पे, वो wages देने के लिए they are ready and cannot find job. They are ready to work on that wages. but they are not finding the job. They are not able to get the job. Okay, so students, we in India, we as the population is so high, and we have a multiple, with a multiple rate the population is increasing day by day, and not only the population, the resources are also declining day by day. Opportunities are also reducing day by day. If we have 100 of opportunities and lakhs of population, so you can think of the condition, what condition would be there. People would be ready to work at the very low wages also. So because in India we have a very high population. So students, in terms of India, we have two kinds of population, two types of population. Okay. In case of rural areas, we have two types of unemployment. Okay. Number one, seasonal unemployment. Number two, disguised unemployment. Seasonal unemployment, disguised unemployment. Urban areas have mostly educated unemployment. Okay. In rural areas, two types of unemployment, seasonal and disguised. In urban area means in cities and towns, in metropolitans, then we have educated unemployment. Fine. So unemployment leads to wastage of the manpower. People are ready to work. They wanted to add potential. They wanted to do some productive work, but work is not there. They wanted to contribute for the country. They wanted to use their knowledge for the country. They wanted to use their abilities for the country, but work is not there. So that means there is a wastage of manpower, there is a wastage of the labor, there is a wastage of the services that a man can provide to the country. So there is a wastage. Okay, it leads to unemployment, leads to the wastage of the manpower resources. People who are an asset for the economy turn into a liability. They can work. They can be an asset for the country, and they can be good for the country, and they can really contribute for the country. But how they are going to contribute when they are sitting idle and they don't have work? So see students, seasonal unemployment. We are talking about rural area. In rural areas, we have two types of unemployment. Seasonal unemployment, this is a type of unemployment. See, seasonal means season. On the basis of the season we have here. Okay, this type of unemployment is more prevalent in rural areas. The farming cycle is season based. There are certain months which are quite busy for a farm worker, and there are many other months when a farm worker is without a work. When we talk about a farm laborer or farmer, okay, we talk about a farmer. You know that students, there are different seasons are there when farmer works, and we grow different crops. Kharif crop, Rabi crop. If you remember, Kharif crop and Rabi crop. There is a particular time when we grow the Kharif crop. Okay, so when we grow a Kharif crop, suppose we sow the seeds in the month of November, December. Okay, and we harvest it in the month of March. Okay, November, December, January, February, March, 4 or 5 months. Okay, then then comes the summer and a rainy season comes. Then the kharif crop comes. Okay, one season, another season. It is when the rain would come. Okay, we started with the June or with the first week of the July. From July to July, August, September, October, November. Again till the November. You can see the cycle goes. Okay, so 4 5 months. 4 5 months here and 4 5 months here. In total altogether how many months? 12 months. 4 months here or maybe a 5 months here, 9 months. Okay, then how many months are left? 3 months. When a farm worker is not having any work, a farmer is not having any work, he's not growing anything, he's sitting idle. So this time, so this is a seasonal unemployment. When a farmer remains unemployed due to the seasons, that is unemployment and seasonal unemployment. So there are few months of when farm laborer or a farm worker or a farmer remains unemployed, he has no work, then that period of unemployment is known as seasonal unemployment. 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 Now the second one that we people have is disguised unemployment. Is disguised unemployment. This disguised unemployment is also known as hidden unemployment. Is known as hidden unemployment. So students, when we talk about a hidden unemployment, we can see it is hidden. You cannot see. Okay. Seasonal unemployment, we can see that yes, these 3 months they are sitting idle, they are not doing anything because season is not there, and they are not growing any other crop which can be easily grown in 3-4 months. Okay, they don't want to cultivate third crop. Okay, and so they are idle for that for 2 months or 3 months. So seasonally unemployed. Now students, sometimes it happens that when you come to the urban area, the person who work at a construction sites, construction of building, houses, what they do it, okay, they work, okay, on a wages, okay, but when they come, when a rainy season is there, at that time construction cannot be done, so they remain unemployed. Now nobody wants that construction, nobody wants, I also don't want that my house to be constructed because rainy time is there, it is not useful, okay, and it is going to disturb the construction. So the laborers or casual laborers, they remain unemployed. Okay, so casual, that urban unemployment is available there. Okay, same manner in the rural area also you can see that when the second type of unemployment is disguised unemployment. So students, when we talk about a disguised or a hidden unemployment, we cannot see that they are employed or they are unemployed. Take an example. We have a piece of land. Okay, we have 2 hectares of land, and on that 2 hectares of land, in the family member we have 5 family members are there. Okay, 2 uncle and the other 2 people, 5 members are there, and those 5 people are working on that 2 hectares of land. Fine. See that small 2 hectares of land. If 2 people will also work on that land, then also it is same output. And if 5 people are working, then also we are going to get the same production, same output we are going to get. Okay. if only two people work potentially with full potential, then we can cultivate 200 quintals. Okay, if 5 people are working, then also we can cultivate how many quintals I said? Okay, 20 quintals. Fine. If 2 people are going to work, 20 quintals, and if 5 people would also work, then 20 quintals. You can see there that here 3 people are working extra. If these 3 people would remove outside and they can go and work some other work, income of the family would also increase and the production would remain same. When we see what is hidden unemployment, when we see a person seems to be employed, but actually he is not employed, he is not working. ओके हमें लगता है वो काम कर रहे हैं, पर in actually they are not putting their full potential, they are not giving their 100%. If we remove those 3 people, if that same work would be done by 2 people, then also we get the same production. And if 5 people are working, they come for 2 hours, they are working, another person working for 3 hours, another person working for 2 hours, and then another person coming for 1 hour. You can see that if 2 people altogether 8 hours or 10 hours, if they work, they get the same production. You can see that it seems that people are employed, but actually they are not employed. That kind of a situation in rural area or in agriculture is known as hidden unemployment, okay. Now we take I have already discussed one example of the urban area or a casual workers, okay, and in the urban areas we have the what kind of an unemployment exists is educated unemployed. People are educated, people have a degree, people have studied so much, they have the training also, but they don't get a job. Educated people, when they don't get a job, okay, that situation is known as educated unemployment. That is known as educated unemployment. The problem of the unemployment among the educated youth is very high. You can see that there are so many people, educated people, they are holding so many degrees and highly studied, and they are roaming around, but they are not getting the job. Nowadays, even highly educated youths, people like graduate and the postgraduates, they are unable to find a job. Okay. Some analysts suggest that most of the highly educated youth do not possess employability, but most of the analysts say that it is because of the demand supply gap. Many people says that they don't possess the quality to get the job, but the problem is the other analysts, they say is that they have analyzed the situation, they have understood the situation, and now they are saying that why people are uneducated, because the opportunities are not there. A person who is highly studied, and if we don't get the job, then that situation is analyzed by the people and by the analysts. They have analyzed it, they have understood the situation, and they have understood the problem that people are educated, but the employment opportunities are not there. I've already told you, if we have 100 of vacancies, 100 of employment opportunities are there, 100 jobs are there. You can see the population in India, we have 10,000 people. I have given you just a small figure. It may be 1,000 of the jobs and 10 lakh people. So you can think of the condition that the people remain unemployed, and but most of the analysts say that it is because of the demand and supply gap. We need more of the demand is there of opportunities, but the employment is not there, supply is not there. While many technically qualified people are unemployed because there are many jobs remaining vacant because of the lack of properly trained person. In some areas properly trained persons are not there, so the employment opportunities and they are not able to get the employment. And but in some areas people really wanted to work, but they are not getting that work. So students, we have many effects of unemployment. Unemployment can be emotionally draining on the unemployed person. You can see that people are really in a depression, they are in a trouble, that I have studied so much, I have taken a degree, I wanted to take care of my family, I have to earn family, my father has become old, so I should earn, but he is not getting the job. So emotionally he is draining out entire potential. This is only because of the unemployment. It can be a financial and the emotional drain on his family members. Financially also they may not be very strong, and a large number of unemployed people is ultimately becomes a liability. They can really work, they don't want it to become a burden, liability, they don't want it to become a burden on the government, they don't want it to become a burden on the country. But what they can do when they are not getting the job, they have to be liability. Ultimately there has to be a liability for the society. High rate of unemployment is there in the country. So students, I hope you already have a book with you. You read this story, go through this story, then you can easily understand that there are different people living in different areas, how they are unemployed, and what all health condition and the other conditions they really need. That is really important. How all government can create. Yes, government is trying hard to create the more of the opportunities, more of the facilities, healthcare facilities, more of the educational institution. We have, by creating the education, by universalizing the education, access over the education, we have educated people, but those educated people, they are not able to get the jobs. They remain unemployed, and we have lakhs of people. This big number can be more big. We have lots of people who are educated, who have got expertise in all different areas, technically skilled also, and technically advanced also, but they don't have the employment opportunity available to them. So students, you go through this entire story. You should people should not depend, they can have their own, they can start up their own business, they can start up their own work, they can make themselves self-employed, they can start up their own business. You can see that new jobs, they can create up the new jobs, and they can opt for, and they can make themselves self-employed. By making them self-employed, they can provide the opportunity to the other people also. If one person would be employed, that person, if he has started an industry, he can give the job to the to hundreds of other people also. So we should not totally depend on the government for getting the jobs. We can create, yes, government can create the job, but for the entire population, entire unemployed people, government cannot also create. So there is a need that we should create the, we should become self-employed. We can start up our own business, and we can do our own work, and simultaneously we can employ and we can give employment opportunity to the another hundreds of people. So if hundreds of industry like this can employ lakhs of people, so we should not totally depend on the government. So students, we have proved here that people are resource. They are asset. They are not a liability. They are asset for the government and they are asset for the economy. And these people, they really contribute for the development. They really contribute for the gross domestic product, for the income, for the national income of a country. So student, the assignment I have given to you, see this assignment. You can see this. So student, here we come to an end of second chapter, that is people as a resource. Okay, so we have concluded this chapter in 4 videos. Complete all the assignments, all the 4 assignments. Almost all the textual questions I have already included in these assignments. Maintain it. Fine. Okay. Thank you so